comfrey seeds, and they didn't come up, so I put more seeds in there and they finally come up. I'm enjoying my roses. I love my roses. Over here I planted a squash plant that seems to have gone away, but my lilies are about ready to bloom. They are so pretty. I planted some more echinaceas. I should show you the one that my husband got a little too close to with a spray that he put on the thistle. The snapdragons are kind of leaning over. We had a really strong wind yesterday. I think they'll perk back up. I planted a whole ton of seeds in here, like plenty long ago, that some seeds should be popping up. Plants, I mean. But nothing's happening. I don't know. Hard to tell. You'd think something would germinate. The butterfly bush is getting big. That has a pretty purple flower on it when it finally blooms. This it acts like it's gonna die. I'm not sure why. It was looking real good several days ago, and then it's all looking like it's dying. It's a oh, I forget. I knew it until I went to say it. The borage is looking good. And a little sedum in there. And those are going to be ready to bloom before too long. The calendulas. Got a dahlia plant there. And several other plants. My ground cherries are in there. And the Jerusalem artichoke. The wind was blowing so much I put a tomato cage around it so the wind wouldn't snap it off. And right over there I see one of my tomato strings has come apart and got blown down to the ground. So I'll have to go and restring that particular tomato. That shouldn't be too hard to do. Oh, my wild roses are wild and beautiful. I love that. That's such a pretty red, too. And this one's such a pretty pinkish white. Beautiful, beautiful. I love plants that I didn't plant myself. Nature planted them. We trimmed it back way back last fall. Let's come back. And here's a domesticated rose of a pretty salmon color. My corn, especially in the middle of the patch, is, you know, they say knee-high by the 4th of July. Well, it's getting close to there already. Probably what I just showed you wasn't quite accurate, but within an inch. It's almost knee-high now. Not sure why the corn in the middle of the patch is taller than the corn on the edges, but it is. Here's another wild rose. I think this is the first time I remember seeing it bloom. And my little box here has things that I planted coming up in it finally. Some onions and some I don't know, radishy type things, I think, or might be kale. I forget what I planted in there. I really, pardon me, I really should label things. And I love this flower. I forget what type of a flower it is. That's kind of irrelevant, I guess, because mainly it's a beautiful flower. I've got clumps of them several places around my yard, and I should take a little start and put out in the front there where my other flowers were. I put some netting on top of my blueberries so that when the berries get ripe, the birds don't eat, but I don't know how effective that's going to be. That netting isn't very, doesn't seem like it would work. I think this is an echinacea. There's a spent iris right behind it. Some more of that pink. And this is fennel. I love the fennel. It's so pretty. It's kind of lacy and feminine. I love the color of this rose. The picture doesn't do it justice. It's kind of got an orangey tint with a pink. And this is a salmon color with a red behind it there. And a pretty pink one. I might be able to get another harvest out of this rhubarb. I should check and see. And I've got a lot of blooms coming on here. That's going to be loaded before you know it. Just an overview of my small garden area. I should give a special name to each area of my garden instead of calling it the mound of the garden or out by the poplar tree. We need some more romantic sounding names. Ooh, this is an eggplant that I took inside over the winter and kept it alive. And it looks like it's starting to actually give me some leaves and stuff. So just a big mess of garden here with never-ending supply of grass that grows up in here. My Sweet Williams are still looking pretty. That's such a brilliant color. And I picked some of that oregano the other day, and it looks kind of yellowish down in there now, but it'll grow back and get all green and lush again. The strawberries that I relocated, I don't think they're going to give me berries this year, but they're looking nice and green, and I really need to get out here and take away the grass. A couple of sprigs of garlic here, and I see I forgot one of the scapes when I was picking the scapes off of the plant the other day. But everything's nice and green, including the grass. And apples coming along. They're itsy bitsy right now, but they've got all summer to get big. And the raspberries, oh my goodness, when these get ripe. Look how many there are coming on. I think in another couple of weeks, by the 1st of July anyway, these will be ready to pick and eat. Oh my goodness, look at how many of them there are going to be. Wow. It's just full of raspberries coming on. This is rue, and this has been here it comes back every year. I really don't know what to use it for. And this is my fail. I planted tomatoes and peppers in there, and I have one lone tomato plant that's still surviving. The peppers did okay for several days after I planted them, and then they just disappeared. And this is Sweetie Pie. She absolutely loves shoes. I'm not sure why. My little messy area there. Hi, girlie. What you doing, girlie? You're so sweet. Sometimes she lays down on those shoes and just rolls over and puts her legs up in the air and wiggles around, and is so cute. She's not going to show off for us today, it doesn't look like. So that's a little bit of a walk around on this kind of nippy Sunday afternoon. It is just in the low 60s today. Our weather, we got down in the 40s last night. Our weather has been going from one extreme to the other. I think a lot of you have experienced that. Days of it being way too hot, up near 100, and then days of being cold, like down in the 50s, just barely 60. I think our night is projected to be around 40 tonight. I think, did it get down to, I don't know, I'd have to look. I think it might have gotten down to 39 last night, but I'm not positive on that. I remember seeing it, but sometimes my mind muddles things all together. That's what happens when you get a little older. Right? Well, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I just wanted to take you out and show you a few little things here and there. Some of you have seen before, but you can see how things have grown. See what has grown and what has not grown. Epic fail on some things and success on other things. That's the way gardening is. Some of it works out and some of it doesn't. Well, off to a good week. I know my week's going to be good. What makes your week good? Putting your mind to the fact that no matter what happens, your week is going to be good. My week is going to be good. So until I talk to you on the next video, may the good Lord richly bless you. Bye. Sweetie Pie, you want to tell everybody bye? Sweet kitty. There's a reason why we named you Sweetie Pie. A little ornery sometimes, a little disobedient, but very loving and sweet. And she's going to take a nap on the back of my chair.